Okay. Now we are recording as well. Okay. Welcome everybody. So today we will continue AWS Cloud Practitioner preparation. So we said it is better to start somewhere to the cloud world, and AWS is a good hyperscale cloud vendor to learn cloud, and also AWS Cloud Practitioner exam is the best beginning for learning AWS Cloud itself. So if you couldn't follow the first session, don't worry. If you go to IT Gilde, if you search IT Gilde on YouTube channel, we have already published our first topic. The previous chapters discussions already there. You can watch. So we are also recording this. Whenever you want, you can come back and check. So we have a couple of chapters from last time, and after finishing this today, we will try to solve practice exam questions together, and it will be real live exam question solving, and it is kind of also gamification. If you win the contest, we will send you a TUXDROID. So it is a Linux Penguin mascot, let's say. We will ship you this nice thing. So in terms of pricing support, you will see lots of questions, how the pricing structure is working in AWS, what is free tier, what is billing concepts, pricing concepts. We will look at budgets and cost explorers, and how many supports plan do we have in AWS, and we will try to understand also AWS Marketplace. So if you want to explore AWS, we have free tier. You don't need to hesitate. Go and create an account yourself. And if you go to https aws.amazon.com/free, you will see 3 types of free tiers. The always free. This is always free to all AWS users, and it is not expiring. So if you go to free section, you have to drill down what is always free for all users. We have also free services and resources in of course not bound. It is not unlimited, it is limited, bounded, but it is bounded in a 1-year manner. So in 1 year, you are getting lots of usage of these services or resources. For example, I want to try AWS as a developer myself or as a learning, and I want to speed up myself in AWS. Okay, when you open an account with a valid credit card and valid email address, you can use this 1-year free tier, and it will be enough to learn AWS itself. If you look at the example, per month, it is giving 750 hours EC2 execution. And when launching instance, if you select an instance on a free tier compatible, then it will charge based on this pricing, such as if you want to use Elastic File System, it is 5 GB per month free. And of course, for the new services or for other things, there are also trial period. When you enable a service in your account, it is not immediately charging. Maybe after 1 month, 2 months, you have to check the trial terms and conditions. Based on that, you are getting a free tier period as well for the trials. So is it enough? Yes, it is enough to learn. It is enough to explore AWS itself. This is free tier. Pricing concepts. We have 3 types of the pricing on AWS. The first one is pay what you use. It is, you don't need to do long-term commitment when using services. It is like electricity bill. If the lamp is open, your counter is rotating, then you are getting bill. So it is same. If my EC2 instance is on, I'm not making any commitment. I'm not hand signing any contract with AWS. As long as it is running, it is up and there, then it is charging all the resources what I provisioned. This is pay what you use or pay as you go model. The second model is pay less when you reserve. So you are decided to make a commitment in the resource usage and you want to run a certain kind of workloads on AWS. And you know this workload will continuously run at least 1 year, maybe, or 3 years. So if you know in advance, your resources can take as a base configuration, if this base configuration of resources will always run at least 1 year, then you can make a commitment to Amazon and you can say, hey, I don't want on-demand pricing, because on-demand pricing, pay-as-you-go pricing, of course, it is a little bit expensive because you are not making any commitment. You are getting the free resources on the pool of Amazon data centers, AWS data centers. But if you make commitment with the second option, pay less when you reserve, whatever you reserved is dedicated to you. So you will get the service, but you will get also less price. The third model is pay less when you use more. In some AWS services, we have tiering. If you use that services heavily, after certain loads or API transaction per second, or after certain usage, gigabyte, whatever it is the limit, you will get different pricing structure. If you want to estimate what does it cost deploying a service or creating a resource in AWS, you can go calculator.aws and you can select services. Under services, you can select which service you want to use. Then based on that, you can estimate what will be the total bill, daily, monthly, or yearly. Here in calculator, you can also select these options. In AWS, what is bill? Bill is equal to what you forget, or what you forget to right size, or you didn't deploy according to best practices. Maybe you are using wrong service, or you are using correct service, but you are not deploying your resources correctly. You have to check how you are using AWS, and if you are using EC2, are you right sizing your EC2 instances? Or if you are using several API calls to different services, you have to check how many times are you doing these kind of calls. And the Cost Explorer, AWS is providing a nice tool for drilling down all the cost of usage of these services and resources with the Cost Explorer. So you can see this breakdown in the Cost Explorer. You have to check otherwise, like this in Meme, nice picture, you can get into poverty easily. So AWS is providing us a billing and cost management dashboard. Here, and billing and cost management dashboard, of course, we have a detailed side of the bill. We can see our savings plans. We can create a budget. AWS budget is, we are creating this budget in service level or in another level if you want to, but of course it is not a boundary. You can always go beyond the budget, or you can spend less than the budget. It is just the forecasting for you. What was the plan? What is charging? How it is going? So it is giving you an idea. And also you can create reports, cost and usage reports. You can see AWS organization is helping us to differentiate these kind of bills. And if you have correct tagging structure in your resources, you can use cost allocation tags. And these cost allocation tags also will give you an insights and hints which kind of services, functions, business groups, or line of business is spending money on Amazon from companies' resources. But AWS organization, the other benefit is it is providing us a consolidated billing. So let's say we said we have a reserve plan option. If you got a reserve plan or savings plan, it is applicable on top of your organization, and all the accounts underneath this AWS organization will benefit from it. So let's say if we reserve certain type of instances, and if we paid this, so sorry, so we are paying this in the organization level, but where, let's say if I am in finance account myself, then automatically I will get also this discount. So it will help us. Budgets. So here in this example, it is creating a budget. If the budget is above the anticipated expectation, it is exceeding the expectation, then we can create a custom notification. Either we can send this notification to Amazon SNS, and from Amazon SNS, maybe we can send email, or we can call some other APIs with the help of Lambda serverless service. And Cost Explorer, it is giving us a drill down approach. It is visualizing all these cost structure, daily, monthly, hourly. So you can group by your resources. You can check service by service all the cost, and of course you can generate your cost usage reports from Cost Explorer itself. So this is the cost structure. You will get mostly questions from AWS budgets. What you have to know in AWS budget, there is no boundary. Let's say if I give you a $500 budget, and if you spend 510, nobody will stop you, so you will continue to exceed the budget. But of course, it is not a one-time job. It is always, you have to check the costs, daily, weekly, monthly. Then with proper alarm, proper mitigation, you can follow your cost easily. So support plans, how many support plans we have? We can differentiate 4 different support plans. The one is free. The basic support, this one is free to all AWS customers. It is without cost. Of course, there is no support at all if you look at itself, but it gives us white paper documentation and community support, the basic support. There is no charge for it. The basic one is starting with developer support, and in developer support, we have to pay a little bit. So you can check all these support plans from AWSamazon.com premium support plans. And here in developer support, when we open a ticket or when we have a problem, we are getting reply in business hours. And if you're asking a general guidance, they will reply in under 24 hours. If you have a problem, really a critical issue, then they will come up with the 12 hours. And we can able to reach the support only via email. So you will get questions in the exam. It is also better to understand if you are entering the AWS world, which kind of support plan do you need according to what you want to do on AWS. Because when you deploy your production resources, you might need at least a paid support level. So in developer, this is the breakdown. The third one is business support. In business support, it is providing us a use case guidance level. So it is identifying our use case, and AWS itself is helping us, suggesting us with their services. They are guiding us, and we are getting benefit of pool of TAM. TAM means technical account manager. So these technical account managers are our gateways. First, we are contacting with our TAMs or with one of the TAM available in the pool in business support. Then this TAM is connecting us with the other services team or other product team, let's say, in AWS. So they can help us to find our way among different teams, geographies in Amazon itself. Here in business support, we have 24/7 access to cloud support engineers via email, chat, and phone. So this is the only lowest level support plan that we are getting cloud support engineer access 24/7. And here, if you look at the SLAs are improved. So we have production system impaired now. Under 4 hours, they are returning. If the production system is down on AWS, then they will help us under 1 hour. The last and biggest one is enterprise. Enterprise support is based on your billing, but at least I think it is 15,000 or something. The monthly price, or 15 or 20, I couldn't remember now, but if it is below than that level, then you have to pay at least that amount. So what we are getting in this enterprise support plan, instead of contacting with any TAM, we are getting a TAM, a technical account manager. It is dedicated to our enterprise. So if we have problem, if we open a ticket, we are always contacting first our technical account manager, but usually we have also dedicated account manager from Amazon side. So it is, if we are looking to resolution for our problems, our tickets on AWS side, and if you couldn't find the answer, TAMs will find us the correct team, correct place. And here SLAs are much more better. For business critical system down, I think it is impaired 30 minutes. If it is down 50 minutes, they will reply. This is the breakdown. Marketplace, you will get also questions from Marketplace. Marketplace is a common place. You can also create product from these domains: business, DevOps, Internet of Things, migration related, data analytics, infrastructure, machine learning, security. And if you, let's say, you are looking at a solution in AWS itself, or you are already using a solution from your on-prem environment, you will most probably see the same solution in AWS Marketplace. And you don't need to contact with sales team, procurement, anything. Just go to Marketplace, click yes, 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 or next, next, next. Then you will automatically get a subscription or a product installed to your environment after giving permission. But this can be a consultancy, this can be also a product itself, a service itself. So you can even be a marketplace seller yourself. So if you want to look at it, is like a Play Store. Now, for mobile applications, Android, well, we have Google. For Apple, they have their store. So in terms of AWS Cloud Play Store or application store, that is AWS Marketplace. Mike, you have a question. How is your experience with the AWS support desk on your tickets? It is, I don't want to give a very detailed answer here because this video will be public. It is like another vendor, let's say. They are doing their best. But of course, don't forget, if you go to doctor is always asking, what is your problem? So you have to know your environment, your problem first, better than support engineer, because for them, it takes time to understand, debug what is happening. And in AWS, everything is, or in the cloud world, everything is integration nowadays. So it is the first important point is describing all the environment and the problem. What is changed? What is the root cause or possible root cause if you don't know in advance? So we have one small question. A company needs 24/7 phone, email, and chat access with a response time of less than 1 hour. If a production system has a service interruption, which AWS support plan meets these requirements at the lowest cost? A, basic, B, developer, C, business, D, enterprise. What is your William? D. 1 hour, 24 so email chat, and the lowest cost. Now, the answer is C, business. Because in business, we have 24/7 phone email, and it is 1 hour. Yeah. The second question, which is the minimum AWS support plan that provides technical support through phone calls? Basic, business, developer, enterprise. Which one minimum support plan? Phone call, phone call. Yes, Mike, true. That is B. Business is the minimum plan. In developer, we have only email. Okay, now, if you don't have any question, I want to continue with migration and innovation part. So here, AWS Migration and Innovation. Here we will look at AWS Cloud Adoption Framework. We will discuss migration strategies, how we can migrate to the AWS Cloud itself. And while migrating your data, we have Snow Family you can get benefit on, and how you can innovate with AWS. It's a very small topic. So what is AWS Cloud Adoption Framework? So in AWS Cloud Adoption Framework, we have different aspects. It is dividing us different perspectives on 6 categories. The first one is business perspective. The business perspective means, of course, what we are doing, how we are working. We are working for a business always, and business has a use case, right? To satisfy this business use case and to solve the problem, we need some kind of tool structure. Here, what we are proposing, yes, we have a solution might be for you in the cloud. Then we are value propositioning the cloud itself. But is it really a good choice to go to select cloud for that business? You have to look at this perspective. The second perspective is people perspective. Of course, every change management relies on people. And without people, there is no organization. It is obvious. And the successful cloud adoption is always passing by with the people. You have to rely on your people. You have to create a budget, training budget for your employee resources. And you have to give enough training and confidence, encouragement as well to adopt the cloud. Otherwise, how you will go cloud? There is no one click. Governance perspective, of course, you have already something on your back or luggage, let's say. You are already running, you are already get used to these environments, these ticketing systems, infrastructures, applications. But with cloud, it will differ and it will change. So you will use maybe different tools. You will use different systems. You have to also adapt yourself, adopt those new tools and adapt these changes easily. And how you can secure them, how you can manage them. You have to put the governance around this, all the processes, because without processes, not only people or technology, it is not helping at all. The platform perspective, it is mostly a difficult one as well. You have to know your technology stack, which hypervisor you are using, how you are going to connect the cloud, or what do you understand from cloud, how you are going to use cloud as an extension of a data center or as a disaster recovery place. or you will delete everything, remove, migrate everything from on-premise environment to the cloud. So you have to position cloud in your mind, in your business vision, at the correct place. Then the next will come easily. Security perspective, as I said, your current tooling application stack will definitely differ from a cloud side. So as we said, you have to give enough training, good training to your people, employee resources. Then you have to give them also security aspects, because everything is based on public API and the tooling are different. The way of how it is secured, it is also different than from our on-prem environment. So security perspective is also important. As another perspective, we have to put in this cloud adoption framework. The last one is operation perspective, because there's always an illusion when we move to cloud, we will have less work. No, we will have more work, because somebody has to do this integration. Somebody has to do this follow-up, because as Werner Vogel, the CTO of Amazon, said, everything fails. You have to plan accordingly. And you have always operations, because business is changing, the demand is changing. You have always new updates from Amazon side, in the cloud side as well, service side. And also you have updates from your application side that you're hosting or delivering to your customers. So based on this, you have always something to do in your cloud environment, either updating, either changing, or releasing new features. So somebody has to do these kind of operations. If you look at all these 6 items, different perspective, all should be done by some people, group, team, let's say. Then how we will migrate to AWS? This is 6R. 6R, if you Google 6R, you will easily find this. It is first pop up in one of the blog posts in AWS. So the first R, rehosting. Rehosting means I'm not touching anything in my on-prem environment. I'm closing my eyes, then, oh, go. It is, the other jargon is lift and shift. So there is not much thing to do. I have one virtual machine on my on-prem environment, and in the cloud, just moving my virtual machine content. Maybe if I'm using VMware or other fancy export import thing, hop, my machine will be there, as long as the network security requirements are satisfied as well. This is rehosting. This one might be the easiest one. The second one is replatforming. So in replatforming, it is not just a lift and shift. Here, we are thinking a little bit in the middle, and we want to use maybe, let's say, instead of copying our database, let's use RDS, Amazon Relational Database Service. And instead of managing our databases, let's take managed database service from Amazon. So it is replatforming. So you are choosing different platforms or hosting your application, not just an instance, but leveraging some services, but not at all. Not all, only some. This is replatforming. The third one is refactoring. You have money, you have budget, you have enough resources and skilled resources, most importantly, and you want to rewrite everything from scratch based on all best practices in a cloud native way, then this is refactoring. The fourth option is repurchasing. So you don't want to develop anything. Maybe the application service is now used by 2-3 business users, and maybe with minor tweaks in business process, this tool is not relevant anymore. So you can say, or if it is relevant, maybe there's a good product combining with your other use cases. You can buy a subscription, a software as a service model, a SaaS model, and you can get out lots of benefit from this. The fifth one is retaining. Retaining means Here, we don't want to go cloud. We will keep as it is. We have lots of dependencies, or we have lots of regulatory difficulties. We cannot go easily. So we want to retain. This is an option. The last option is retiring. So I reevaluate everything. I couldn't find a solution. Okay, nobody is using. If I cancel this application or shut down this, and as I said, with changing process level itself, or the way how it works, maybe adding another feature to another service, another product, then you can retire other application. So these are the 6 migration strategies when going to cloud. Migration service family, how we will go cloud. So we have first, when we are going cloud, we have assessment layer. We have to assess what we have. What do we have? After assessment layer on AWS, we have a couple of services in assessment layer. Here, migration evaluator, it is helping us to calculate total cost of ownership. So if I keep this on-prem, what will be the total cost of ownership, TCO for me? And if I keep this, if I migrate this to cloud, what will be the total cost? There are services from AWS side directly for doing this kind of assessment, application discovery service or migration evaluator service itself from AWS. You can get these assessment. And also there are best practices guidelines from AWS prescriptive guidance side. If you go there, you can get easily inspire how you can move to 100 instances or how you can move mission critical database to cloud. You can find these kind of guidance in AWS prescriptive guidance. So you evaluate, you have to do assessment, what you are going to move to the cloud, how you are going to move to the cloud, when you are going to move to the cloud. Then the second layer is mobilization. Here we have also AWS application discovery service, and you have to create an account structure. You don't need to worry about creating best account structure according to best practices, let's say, sorry. Then we have AWS landing zone control tower. It will create a good account structure for you depending on your organization and logical breakdown. There are also several partner solutions in AWS Marketplace, and there are also other services from AWS government management. You can get benefit. Yeah, after this assessment, deciding and project planning, and with enough sponsorship, you can migrate your resources. You have application migration service, server migration service, database migration service, or if you are using VMware on-prem, VMware is also working well with the AWS itself, so you can easily integrate this with on the rest of your AWS site. So one of the migration activity is also might be include also data layer. So if you want to move your data, what are the possibilities we have? We have Snow Family, AWS Snow Family. It is a group of physical devices, and it will be, when you request the Snow Family, it will ship to your address. Then after your usage, so you are charged on your request and also on the duration, how long you are keeping the device. Then when the device ship back to AWS, you will get your data back. But we have different Snow devices. We have Snowcone, Snowball, Snow Mobile. So you have to check your requirements. What is the disk size you need? And their speed is also changing. Here we have a small comparison. So in the Snowcone up to 24 terabyte, Snowball up to 10 petabyte, and Snow Mobile, it is coming with the track, and it is exabyte level. It is 45 food containers. And if you have petabyte level data, and if you need to move this data in one go to the Amazon, these are the options. Because if you want to migrate your data over internet, it will take time, right? And you have to do the calculation. Depending on the connection level you have towards Amazon, you have to make a calculation. How long will it take your data will go to Amazon side? Maybe if it takes with direct connect option, we will see direct connect also. I think we have seen this direct connect option in networking part in our first video. If you go plain internet, of course, it will be very slow and expensive, and the business case will not be useful anymore. But if you choose this option, you can dump your data and you can ship back, and you will get immediately in 1 week data in Amazon side. So innovation in AWS, of course, in AWS, while using AWS, we said you don't need to make a commitment to anything. You can trial out new services, you can deploy your application, and based on this business use case you have, you can select different services. There are many services from different layers. Wait, I will come. Okay. Yeah, so we have machine learning services, we have serverless world. If you don't want to deal with any serverless server infrastructure, you just want to deal with your application, we have Lambda, DynamoDB, S3, Kinesis. You can use all these serverless layer. We have machine learning, artificial intelligence for other use cases. Whenever you get your data here, you can do any type of computing in AWS itself. So the cloud journey, how the cloud journey starts, we have AWS well-architected framework. On AWS, we have also, this well-architected framework, it is first published in an article, and it is continuously updated. It is a well-known article by AWS architects now. So when we design a solution on AWS, we always check operational excellence, security, reliability, performance, efficiency, and cost optimization. So these 5 items is always important, as like in operational excellence. So do we have enough monitoring? Do we have enough dashboard? In security, are we adopting least privilege option? In reliability, did we design the service based on the failure of availability zone, failure of region, failure of our application? The performance, are we using services correctly? Did we deploy our services correctly? Our application, did we give enough resource to our application to compute in compute layer? And in cost optimization, we are always keep an eye on our costs. There is also tool, well-architected tool, so you can evaluate your architecture answering those questions on well-architected tool. You can check if something is fitting to well-architected framework or not, all these 5 pillars. So that was it. I hope you will accept this challenge. We are saying this is a challenge because you have to accept this challenge. It is difficult to enter AWS or any cloud market or technical side, because you need lots of knowledge, depth knowledge as well in certain areas, but you have to start at some place. That is our motto, and AWS Cloud Practitioner is the first one to be a good place to start this journey. So the next, what we have also on August, it is starting. You can check IT Guild this site, itguildacademy.com/product/exam prep AWS. I will provide AWS SysOps Administrator Associate Exam Training, and I hope it will be useful for you as well. So this is it. Now I will start a quiz here. If you go to this site, I will put it in the chat. Quizzes.com/join, and we will start our contest. The winner will get this TUXDROID. Here, if you open this site, I will give you okay. Now, if you open the site, and of course, if you want to participate, quiz.com/join, you have to enter this code 100235. Okay, I think we have only. So I will pause this, stop this recording here.